Welcome back to our channel, where we explore the most bone-chilling stories from around the web. Today, I have a spine-tingling tale to share with you, straight from my own personal experience. Brace yourselves for the haunting of my Instagram. It all started innocently enough, as I scrolled through my Instagram feed, enjoying the usual mix of friends' posts, cute animals, and mouth-watering food. Little did I know that something sinister was lurking in the shadows of my digital world. One night, as I lay in bed, I received a direct message from an unfamiliar account. The message contained a cryptic warning, urging me to stop posting on Instagram or face dire consequences. At first, I dismissed it as a prank, but the subsequent events would prove me wrong. Strange things began happening. I would wake up to find my Instagram posts deleted, replaced by eerie images that sent shivers down my spine. Distorted faces, shadowy figures, and chilling messages appeared on my feed, leaving me terrified and questioning my sanity. As the days went by, the haunting escalated. I started receiving disturbing comments from unknown users, each one more menacing than the last. They seemed to know personal details about me that I had never shared online. The line between the digital and real world blurred, and I felt trapped in a nightmare. Determined to uncover the truth, I delved into the dark corners of the internet, seeking answers. I stumbled upon a forgotten urban legend about a vengeful spirit that targeted social media users. The more I dug, the more I realized that I had unwittingly become a part of this terrifying tale. Armed with newfound knowledge, I devised a plan to confront the malevolent force haunting my Instagram. I reached out to a paranormal expert who guided me through a series of rituals to banish the spirit. It was a nerve-wracking experience, but I have to reclaim my digital life. After a harrowing battle, the haunting finally ceased. My Instagram returned to normal, and the nightmare was over. But the experience left me forever changed, reminding me of the hidden dangers that lurk behind our screens. Welcome back to my channel. I am the Portuguese Whisperer, and for today's video, I bring you all 3 creepy cabin in the woods stories. Story number 1. It was a dark and stormy night when I stumbled upon a hidden gem nestled deep within the dense forest. The cabin, known as Whispering Pines, had an ominous aura that sent shivers down my spine. Ignoring my instincts, I decided to spend the night there, unaware of the horrors that awaited me. As the night grew darker, strange occurrences began to unfold. Whispers echoed through the cabin's walls, as if the very foundation held secrets from a forgotten past. Shadows danced in the corners of my vision, playing tricks on my mind. Every creak and groan of the old wooden floorboards sent my heart racing. It was then that I saw her, a ghostly figure, pale and ethereal, standing at the foot of my bed. Her eyes, hollow and filled with sorrow, pierced through my soul. Frozen with fear, I could only watch as she vanished into thin air, leaving behind an eerie silence that engulfed the cabin. Determined to uncover the truth, I delved into the cabin's history. It was said that Whispering Pines was once a place of refuge for a family torn apart by tragedy. Legend had it that the spirits of the deceased still roamed the premises, seeking solace or revenge. Armed with courage, I embarked on a journey to communicate with the spirits that haunted Whispering Pines. Through paranormal investigations, I attempted to bridge the gap between the living and the dead. But with each attempt, the malevolent presence grew stronger, testing the limits of my sanity. In a climatic turn of events, I found myself face to face with the vengeful spirit that had tormented me through the night. With trembling hands, I confronted the entity, demanding answers and offering peace. The cabin shook with fury as the spirit unleashed its wrath, but in the end, a resolution was reached. Story number 2. I was always fascinated by horror movies, especially those set in eerie cabins deep within the dark woods. Little did I know that one day I would find myself trapped in a genuinely terrifying tale. It was a cold winter evening when I stumbled upon a mysterious cabin, hidden amongst the trees in the heart of the forest. Curiosity sparked my desire to explore its haunted walls. Hesitant, but intrigued, I pushed open the creaking door, and the scent of damp wood filled my nostrils. The interior was dimly lit by a flickering lantern, casting eerie shadows on the rustic furniture. As I cautiously stepped inside, a gust of wind slammed the door shut behind me. The sound echoed through the cabin. A sense of unease crept up my spine, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. Ignoring my instincts, I proceeded to explore each room. Strange symbols adorned the walls, their meaning hidden to my untrained eyes. I could not resist touching them, tracing my fingers along the cold, weathered paint. With each stroke, a chill ran through me, a sense of dread permeated the cabin's atmosphere. As I made my way upstairs, the floorboards groaned under my weight. The air grew dense, suffocating with each step. Suddenly, a portrait caught my eye, hanging crookedly on the wall. It depicted a woman, her face twisted in agony and despair. Her eyes seemed to follow me, which sent a shiver down my spine. Attempting to shake off the unsettling feeling, I continued, entering a room covered with cobwebs and tattered drapes. In a far corner, I noticed a small, dusty book that seemed out of place. Curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it cautiously. The pages were filled with cryptic writings, describing an ancient ritual that could summon unimaginable horrors. Stumbling across a specific passage, I read out loud the words etched in the archaic language. With each syllable that left my lips, the cabin shuddered and the lantern flickered wildly. Terrified by my own actions, I scrambled for the door, desperate to escape the looming danger. But as I twisted the doorknob, it refused to budge. Panic washed over me like a tidal wave, and the room began to twist and deform in my vision. Frantically, I returned to the book, hoping to find a way to undo what I had done. The words on the page had vanished, replaced by a chilling message: "There is no escape. Embrace the darkness." As the walls closed in, I could hear whispers all around me, incoherent yet full of malevolence. The cabin seemed alive, tormenting me for my reckless intrusion. The air turned frigid, and I could see my breath misting in front of me. Time somehow slipped away as I lost my consciousness, overwhelmed by the ominous presence. When I regained my senses, I found myself laying on a cold forest floor, the cabin nowhere in sight. It was as if it had vanished into thin air, leaving no trace behind. Since that fateful night, I have never been able to forget the horrifying experience. The cabin remains a haunting memory, a reminder that some stories should never be explored. Story number 3. I never believed in the stories about the cabin in the woods until that fateful night. The tale had always circulated around our small town, warning us to stay away from the eerie building nestled deep within the thick forest. They said it was haunted, filled with the tormented souls of those who had dared to enter and never come out. Curiosity got the better of me when I stumbled upon an old, tattered journal in the town's historical archives. It chronicled the events of a family that had lived in the cabin generations ago. The entries grew darker and more disturbing with each page passing, detailing chilling experiences that sent shivers down my spine. Ignoring the warnings, I made up my mind to uncover the truth behind the legends. Armed with nothing more than a flashlight and my bravery, I ventured into the heart of the woods, determined to reach the cabin and explore its haunted past. The night was heavy, with an eerie silence as I trudged through the undergrowth, each crackle of leaves underfoot setting my nerves on the edge. Soon, the trees closed in around me, casting long, sinister shadows that danced menacingly. It felt like nature itself was conspiring against me, urging me to turn back. After what seemed like hours of trekking through the darkness, I caught sight of a faint light in the distance. My heart pounded with a mix of trepidation and excitement as I pushed forward, closer to the cabin that held so many secrets. The closer I got, the stronger the atmosphere became. The air grew cold and heavy, and an unnerving sense of being watched consumed me. Finally, I stood before the cabin, its wooden exterior worn by time and weather. It seemed to emanate an otherworldly presence, warning me to stay away. Summoning all my courage, I pushed open the creaking door and stepped inside. The interior was just as eerie as the stories had described. Dust and cobwebs concealed the room, casting strange shadows across the worn floorboards. A sudden gust of wind howled through the cracks, extinguishing my flashlight. Panic coursed through my veins as darkness enveloped me. I fumbled for my phone and, with trembling hands, managed to illuminate the room once more. In that fleeting moment, a chilling sight met my eyes. Figures materialized from the shadows, their eyes gleaming with an otherworldly light. They moved towards me with an unnerving grace, whispering incoherent words that sent shivers down my spine. I turned to flee, only to find the doorway had vanished. Panic surged within me as the figures drew nearer. I stumbled backwards, tripping on a broken chair and crashing to the floor. In that desperate moment, the wooden walls began to groan and rap. As if waking from a long slumber, the cabin itself seemed to come alive, its morbid secrets unraveling before my eyes. With one final burst of adrenaline, I scrambled to my feet and tore through a hidden door that appeared to be in the back of the cabin. The air outside was heavy with relief, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I had narrowly escaped something truly wicked. To this day, I can't put my experiences at the cabin in the woods behind me. Those spirits, those restless souls that haunted the space so ferociously, taught me a valuable lesson. Some stories, no matter how terrifying, are best left undisturbed, hidden within the ancient pages of forgotten history. Welcome back to my channel. I'm the Portuguese Whisperer, and for today's video, I bring in the most bone-chilling TikTok stories. Let's get started. Story number 1. Our story begins with a young TikTok user. Let's call her Emily. She was an active content creator, sharing her daily life and adventures with her followers. Little did she know that her innocent TikTok videos would catch the attention of someone with sinister intentions. Emily started noticing strange comments on her videos, from an account she didn't recognize. These comments were not the usual supportive or friendly ones that she was used to. Instead, they were filled with disturbing messages and personal details about her life. Emily's initial reaction was confusion and concern, but she decided to brush it off as a prank. As days went by, the situation escalated. Emily began receiving direct messages from the same account, filled with explicit threats and promises to harm her. Fear started to consume her, and she realized that this was no longer a harmless prank. Emily knew that she had to take action to protect herself. She reached out to TikTok's support team, providing them with evidence of the stalker's messages and comments. She also reported the account to the authorities, who took the matter seriously. However, the stalker seemed to be one step ahead, constantly creating new accounts to continue tormenting Emily. Despite the ongoing harassment, Emily decided to use her platform to raise awareness about online safety. She shared her story with her followers, urging them to be cautious and vigilant while using social media platforms. Emily's bravery inspired others to come forward with their own experiences, creating a supportive community dedicated to combating online harassment. After weeks of relentless pursuit, the authorities were finally able to track down the stalker's real identity. The individual was apprehended and faced legal consequences for their actions. Emily, though, scarred by the experience, found solace in knowing that justice was served. Story number 2. It was a dark and stormy night. Just like in the movies, I was home alone, scrolling through TikTok when I stumbled upon a mysterious video. The clip showed an abandoned house, with whispers and eerie music playing in the background. Intrigued, I decided to investigate further. As I delved deeper into the TikTok account, I noticed a pattern. Each video showcased a different haunted location, accompanied by unsettling captions. The more I watched, the more I felt a sense of unease creeping up on me. One night, while filming a TikTok video in my own house, strange things started happening. Objects moved on their own, doors creaked open, and chilling whispers echoed through the empty rooms. I couldn't believe what I was experiencing. As the days went by, the paranormal activity escalated. I began hearing voices, seeing shadowy figures lurking in the corners of my vision, and feeling an icy presence whenever I entered in a room. Fear consumed me, and I couldn't escape the feeling that something malevolent was after me. Determined to uncover the truth, I decided to confront the source of these supernatural occurrences. Armed with my camera, I ventured into the abandoned house from the TikTok videos. What I discovered inside was beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I won't spoil the ending for you, but let's just say that what I encountered in that house changed my life forever. The truth behind the TikTok account and its connection to the paranormal left me shaken to my core. And still to this day, I'm scarred, and I still have nightmares about it. Story number 3. It all started when I was scrolling through TikTok late at night. Suddenly, the app glitched, and a video appeared that I hadn't seen before. It was a short clip of a dark figure standing in a corner of a room. I brushed it off as a random glitch and continued scrolling. But that's when things took a terrifying turn. The next day, I noticed strange occurrences happening around me. Objects would move on their own, and I would hear whispers when no one else was around. I couldn't shake the feeling that something was watching me. Determined to uncover the truth, I started investigating the origins of the glitched video. I discovered a hidden community on TikTok, where users shared their own paranormal experiences with the app. It seemed that TikTok had a dark secret, and I was about to uncover it. As I delved deeper into this hidden world, I realized that the app itself was somehow connected to the supernatural. People reported being haunted by the figures they saw in glitched videos, experiencing nightmares and even physical harm. It was as if TikTok had become a portal of malevolent entities. With my curiosity outweighing my fear, I decided to confront the source of this haunting. Armed with courage, I entered a supposedly haunted location featured in one of the glitched videos. What I encountered inside was beyond anything I could have imagined. I saw a place filthy, where people made sacrifices, and then filmed. And when uploaded to TikTok, the video would glitch, and anyone who saw it would be haunted forever. Story number 4. One night, my friends and I gathered around a campfire, sharing spooky stories. We dared each other to explore the abandoned asylum, known for its dark history and paranormal activity. And me, being the adventurous soul that I am, I couldn't resist the challenge. Armed with my phone, I entered the asylum, documenting every step on TikTok. As I walked through the decaying hallways, I felt an eerie presence surrounding me. Strange whispers echoed through the empty rooms, and the air grew colder with each passing moment. As I continued exploring, I started capturing chilling footage of ghostly apparitions and unexplained phenomena. Doors slammed shut on their own, and objects moved without any logical explanation. The asylum seemed to come alive with the spirits of its tormented past. Digging deeper into the asylum's history, I discovered the dark secrets it held. It was once a place where unspeakable experiments were conducted on patients, leaving behind a trail of suffering and restless spirits. The more I shared on TikTok, the more my followers urged me to leave before it was too late. In a daring move, I decided to communicate with the spirits using a Ouija board. As I reached out to them, the atmosphere grew heavy, and a malevolent presence made itself known. The spirits became aggressive, throwing objects and causing the lights to flicker. Fear consumed me, and I knew I had to escape. With my heart pounding, I ran out of the asylum, leaving behind the horrors that lurk within. The experience taught me an important lesson of respecting the supernatural and the consequences of delving into the unknown. I shared this story on TikTok to warn others about the dangers of exploring haunted places without proper knowledge and protection. Story number 5. The TikTok Challenge. One day, while scrolling through my TikTok feed, I stumbled upon a video showcasing a mysterious and forbidden challenge. Intrigued by the thrill of the unknown, I couldn't resist the temptation to try it out. Little did I know, this challenge would lead me down a path of terror. I gathered my courage and set up my camera, ready to document my attempt at the challenge. The rules were simple. Perform a specific set of actions at midnight in a dimly lit room. As the clock struck 12, I pressed record and began the challenge. As I followed the instructions, an eerie feeling washed over me. Shadows danced on the walls, and a chilling freeze filled the room. Unknowingly, I had invited an unseen presence into my home. Strange occurrences started happening, but I brushed them off as a mere coincidence. Night after night, the paranormal activity escalated. Objects moved on their own, whispers echoed through the walls, and I started seeing apparitions in the corner of my eye. My TikTok followers became increasingly concerned as they witnessed these terrifying events unfold through my videos. As I continued to document the haunting on TikTok, I became consumed by fear. The unseen presence grew more malevolent, tormenting me both physically and mentally. Sleepless nights and constant terror took a toll on my well-being, and I realized I had to find a way to end this nightmare. With the support of my TikTok followers, I searched for help of a paranormal expert. Together, we conducted a cleansing ritual to rid my home of the malevolent entity. The process was intense and nerve-wracking, but we persevered, determined to restore peace. In the end, I managed to overcome the horrors of the forbidden TikTok challenge. Through my videos, I warned others about the dangers of dabbling into the unknown and urged them to prioritize their safety. Remember, TikTok challenges can be fun, but always prioritize your well-being and safety. And that's the end of the video. If you enjoyed my narration, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share with your friends. And until next time, don't forget, sleep tight if you can.